guys, welcome back to the Kit and Krysta podcast. I gotta look at the paper today. Episode 14.
Forget the numbers. It's your birthday episode.
Yay.
That's exciting.
Where's my birthday sign?
I did bring some, now you're spoiling some stuff.
You did bring some stuff.
I brought a birthday hat.
You did, really?
Yeah. Well, we'll put that on later. We'll celebrate.
Wow.
You don't know what I got planned.
All right.
I mean, maybe not for this episode, but for something else.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What are you rambling about?
Well, we'll talk about that later because you got something cool in your lap here.
Yes, not a birthday present,
No.
but pretty. I mean, if someone gave me this for my
Could
birthday,
be a cool birthday present.
I would be very excited. If
Right.
someone gave me a subscription to this for my birthday, I would be excited. This is our latest Tokyo treat box.
Right.
Snack box.
Yeah, if you saw our car where we were doing the gaming HQ tier list, you remember we had some snack boxes like this. We have a new one with entirely different stuff.
Yeah, so this one is, let's just open it up here because it's always cute to see. So you have this packed full of stuff.
The presentation is very good.
It's very nice. And every month has a different theme. And this month's theme is Snackin' Shibuya, which is...
This is a thick booklet
Which sounds delicious.
what's this?
What is all happening? Oh, no.
What is that?
This is, scan me for more snacks.
Oh, see, this is cool. This is talking about like what it's like to go to Shibuya.
Yes. We've both been there before. It is very bustling.
The dog statue, was it Hachiko?
Hachiko's there.
Yeah, the statue, we've seen that.
You can see the people crossing the street. But there's a lot of like, it's like jam-packed full of like cultural, like pop culture Japanese snacks there. So that is what is in this box.
Wow, this really talks a lot about just what it's like to visit Shibuya and like kind of how some of the food in here relates to. Because look, they have this spicy Neapolitan pasta.
Oh, that's right.
But then they talk about like, well, if you actually go to these cafes, like this is what it would be like.
And I've seen that there before as well, and we've definitely eaten that. So
very cool. All right, what do we got in here?
You'll be excited about this.
Pudding
flavored Kit Kats.
Wow.
Do you love? Okay,
I love pudding.
People don't know you are a big pudding fan, and whenever we go to Japan, you're always getting pudding. So here we go, pudding flavored Kit Kats. We have. This is like a deluxe quattro cheese. Quattro.
Oh my goodness.
This is a lot of cheese. This is a lot of cheese. Okay, there's that.
Give it to me.
Oh, hold on. Okay, you hold it. There is a cookies and cream waffle, which looks delicious. Oh, see, here's the tomato pasta.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
There is. Oh, this is very fancy.
What is it though?
It looks like it's sort of ice cream flavored chocolates. It's all in Japanese, so I'm going to need you to find it in there if you want.
This is so cool. There's like a fun fact about the 109 building that is like so iconic
Shibuya
and now is in so many video games.
Yeah. Of course, there is the the little.
Oh yeah, those are delicious.
The little fish.
And then here's a whole double page about Hachiko and what that means. This is great. This is such a
so cool.
like little. It'd be so fun to just sit down and read this while you're snacking.
This could be a very interesting.
I saw that in the booklet.
Caramel popcorn soda.
Take the movie theater experience and put it in a bottle. This is one of the wildest drinks we've ever tasted.
Okay.
The drink smells just like sweet caramel popcorn. Are you ready to try this funky soda?
I love how they are leaning into the fact that it is kind of wacky.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try these snacks. I'm making an executive decision.
What are we starting with here? What is this?
To try these. I don't know. They look savory.
Well,
it is called the Sankaku crackers. And it looks like
vegetable
it's
crackers.
Vegetable
flavor,
cracker.
yeah.
Vegetable flavored
These
crackers.
triangle-shaped snacks have a salty vegetable flavor. Okay.
Maybe you can wash it down with some popcorn soda afterwards.
But what about the Kit Kat?
You want a Kit Kat?
I really do. I want a pudding Kit Kat, yes.
Here, have a cracker, and then we'll have a Kit Kat after that.
These are very small.
These are so cute. They're like little pizza shape. Mmm.
Those are very good.
These are good. Can I snack on this for the rest of the podcast? That's rude, huh? Shouldn't do that.
I mean, it's your birthday. You can do what you want.
You can share that with me. There's 2 in there.
This is really something you miss about Japan. Is like the interesting and good flavors of Kit Kats.
Yeah, they have the good flavors of Kit Kat and good flavors of Oreo cookies.
It's like when we were here, like, you know, here I was like, I don't eat a Kit Kat. But then go to Japan, it's like, show me what you got.
Show me what the different flavors.
Oh, no. Well, did it break? No. Here.
Ooh, thank you. Oh, good.
Pudding.
Mmm. Yummy. That's delicious.
There's so much stuff in there.
Now, is this telling you that you could put it in the microwave and then make it pudding-y?
Let's not jump to conclusions.
Because that seems very interesting.
Yeah, maybe refer to the booklet for
Oh,
that.
yeah. Look, you put it in the toaster oven.
Wow. That's
You can
kind
melt
of amazing.
it into like more like a brulee kind of situation. Wow. That's some next level Kit Katting.
Man.
That is really some next level Kit Katting. Okay.
All right.
One more vegetable cracker. And we have to put the snacks away.
All right.
Unfortunately. But you guys can get your own snacks as well. And if you use the code KITKRYSTA, I'll put it right here. You get $5 off.
And
these are
special link for you to use.
It's in the description box.
Yeah.
So click on that link to get your discount. These are seriously so high quality and so worth it. And it's so much fun to
It's fun to get it.
get it every month and just see like what is what's the trendy snacks in Japan. You can't get these here.
And this is
if you're in the States.
This is very different from the one that we did last time too. So it's cool that they really change it up.
Yeah, super cool.
Excellent.
All right, I'm going to sadly put the snacks away. Goodbye, snacks.
Well, now you're sitting on your notes.
I'm sitting on my notes. I have like a
Now,
pudding finger.
All right, back where we left off. Your birthday.
My birthday.
We like to get each other fun birthday gifts.
We do.
I have a birthday gift for you that I think is going to knock your socks off. The thing is,
so excited.
It's not here yet.
I know. Okay. All right.
So
okay.
I think maybe next week, I want to get your reaction on this because I think this could be a real, whoa moment.
As you said, a pop off.
It might be a pop off moment.
But then you also said a couple of
saying,
things that are a little
What?
bit strange to
What?
me about this present. You're very good. We at this point know each other very well, and we sort of like, I don't know. I don't think we've had like a miss on presents for like a long time.
Yeah.
But you said something that was kind of interesting, which was,
What?
if you don't like it, I'd be happy for you to just give it to me.
I'd love to have this. Yeah.
So I'm like, what could this be? That
Do you care to hazard a guess? Only one guess. Do not just start listing things now.
Well, okay.
Oh boy.
I thought about this, but I don't know why you would say you would love to have this. But one thing that we've been wanting to get for the studio for a while is like a neon sign with our logo on it,
put it right
which
there.
you're wearing today.
I am.
That was supposed to go like
Yeah.
literally right here,
Right.
but we haven't gotten around to it yet.
Well,
so maybe it's that.
you'll see.
But then why would you want it personally? So that doesn't make sense. So I don't think it's that.
All right. Well, that's your one guess.
That's my one guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, take note. Next present.
Right.
Give me a neon sign. I guess it's Christmas. Yeah, but we have a very good track record
Yes.
of birthday presents and Christmas presents. So yeah, I'm excited.
Good.
I can't wait. I love
Next
presents.
week, get ready.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
'Cause you're going to Disneyland for your birthday. That's
I am. I'm actually, by the time this episode airs,
fun. Be there.
I will be there.
Wow.
I have not been to Disneyland for so long, and I've been dying to go to the new Star Wars thing forever. So it's just been a little tricky because I wanted to wait for it to be a little bit more comfortable to go with all the COVID stuff, obviously. And it seems like it's okay. I'm going in the middle of the week.
Okay.
So hopefully it's a little bit less crowded. I'm a little bit worried about all the crowds, but you're outside and everything too, so it should be okay. But I've just heard so many amazing things about the new Star Wars area, and I'm most excited about the food.
Sure.
I've heard the food there is actually like legit, like delicious and really awesome. So I can't wait to try. There's a bar there. There's finally serving alcohol inside Disneyland, which is like so exciting. So yeah, I'm really excited to go.
It's great.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. My birthday is apparently an 8-year-old's birthday, so that's what it is. What all else is? We had a busy week.
We had a busy week last week.
I think we had videos
every day,
every single day on our YouTube channel. So if you missed it,
catch up.
If you need to catch up, it's all there for you.
Right.
But one thing that we had so much fun doing last week was the Indie World Showcase reaction video. We've been thinking about this for a while, and we know that you guys want us to do reaction videos, and we want to too. And obviously, we had to wait until neither of us knew anything anymore.
Right.
And so now it's the beautiful season of we don't know anything, so we can actually do reaction videos and be surprised. And so we did one for the latest Indie World Showcase, and that was so fun. The showcase was kind of meh to be completely honest. I was a little bit disappointed, but it was still fun to do the actual reacting.
Yeah, it's fun to make predictions, fun to just see what's going on for the first time. Yeah,
exactly. So that video's up if you missed it. We definitely been playing some of the indie games as well. I haven't actually. We'll be talking about that in our games we're playing segment later today, which would be fun. But I always find at least, even with a kind of a disappointing one, I always find at least one or two that I'm like, oh, this is. Yeah. Obviously it's something that you've probably never heard of, so it's at least you can give it a try. Yeah. So that's great, and we're looking forward to doing more of these. I think June's gonna be busy with these. Yeah. We're gonna be doing so much more of these for all of these different, the Xbox one is coming up. Nintendo probably will do something in June, and that's our prediction.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot going on. So next month will be.
So it's good practice.
Exactly. Yeah. Next month will be fun. We also posted a video on Friday, which is a little vlog of us going to get Reggie's book. That was kind of cool because I've definitely not stepped foot in a bookstore in a long time. So we took a little drive around where we're kind of in between where we both live and scattered out Reggie's book. Yeah. We found his book actually in the business section, so we didn't even have to look too far, which is nice.
One person had a comment that said at their store they had it with gaming strategy guides and stuff.
Oh, really? I guess so. Yeah. The game of life, you can strategize with Reggie's book.
Also in the comments, you learned an important lesson about seatbelts.
I did. Thank you guys.
No more flaunting the law.
What? I was never, it was uncomfortable. But someone gave me the hot tip that your seatbelt can be lower. You didn't even know this.
Why would I know? It's great for me.
You didn't even know this was possible in your car.
I didn't. No.
So we were both like,
that was wow.
Yeah, we drove here today, and I was like, this is fantastic. Yeah. It's a brand new world for me. So thank you.
This is what it feels like to be a law-abiding citizen. Shocking. First for you.
Excuse me?
Moving on. So there was I think we maybe teased this last week. We're like, maybe we'll have 2 episodes of the Kit and Krysta show.
Yeah.
But no, the indie world really sort of
whacked out the schedule.
Threw our schedule into a tizzy. But no, we have another great one this week.
Yeah, we have a really fun one this week. The title is, I think this is a great title. You guys tell us if you get it or not. But it's the Super Mario Move It or Lose It Challenge.
Right.
Now, what do you guys think when you hear this title? And hopefully you're right. But basically, the idea is you always have to keep Mario moving to the right at all costs. You cannot stop at all. And that could be good or bad because obviously if you keep moving, it's harder for the enemies to get you, but it's also easier for you to run into enemies and ditches and things like that.
You seem to struggle to understand the basic rules of this.
My fingers are doing
That's the one tease I'll say.
My fingers had a mind of their own. It's muscle, Twitch muscle memory. I had a mind of its own. Anyways, we've just wrapped up editing this episode, and I love it so much. I'm so excited for you guys to watch it.
Well, so we did Move It or Lose It challenge this time. Maybe next time can be the Mario Smelt It, Dealt It challenge. That'd be a Wario challenge.
Wario Dutch Oven challenge. Got it.
No, that's not catchy like that.
He had the Quattro cheese snack, and now it's really bad for business. Also, just to tease a little bit more of that video, there is a very embarrassing punishment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very embarrassing that we will not reveal, but you guys have to watch the video because
it's a classic.
That one was tough to do for sure. Okay.
All right.
Did you get into our story time?
Let's go.
It's all about Krysta.
People have been asking for this one.
I think this is Very weird. I don't know what happened to me with this, but...
Well, this is about the time when you became an esports star in the game of ARMS.
That no one cared about.
I mean, then they cared.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I always think it's ironic that I'm so bad at these fighting games normally. Like all the fighting games that have like, you know, the beautiful popularity and the stardom, like Smash or Street Fighter or Tekken or, you know, all the big fighting games that like everyone can like actually become an esports star in. I like really, really bad at them.
Yeah.
Like to the point where it's almost embarrassing. Like I would just, I mean, I couldn't even like score any hits or anything like that. It's that bad. So it's always been like sort of this like moment of shame for me. But then, of course, for a fighting game that people nobody cared about and like has
nobody cared about.
No one wanted to. No one had this become like a big thing. It's like of course that's the one that I'm weirdly a savant at. So thanks, universe.
Well, how
for
did
the
this
irony.
happen? Let's talk about how this happened.
Yeah, how did this happen? So when the game first got announced, we kind of did a couple of Nintendo Minute videos. And even in the very beginning, something about this game just really clicked for me. I think there's a video of us playing the game like before it launched.
Right. We were having a big like preview event that we were both working on. It was like, all right, well, let's do this video because we're going to have the game here.
And I smoked you.
And this was this was really our first time.
Yeah, like even touching the game.
I remember I think we had the game at that event back in January in New York, but we didn't really spend a lot of time with it. So this was really our first big hands-on.
Yeah.
And you did really just take me to task.
Yeah, I was surprised. I surprised myself.
I was surprised too.
I was like, wait, you can't even fight back? Like, what the heck is going on? So that happened.
Yeah.
And then some time went by. And I think, like, you know, I was like, okay, beginner's luck for sure. Because then later on, you did get, like, pretty good, too. Like, you were, like, pretty decent at it. And then the defining moment of my esports career with ARMS is that we went to E3.
Yeah.
And we had the great privilege of sitting down with the one and only Mr. Yabuki.
Mr. Yabuki.
And we did a video with him where he basically, like, coached us.
Right.
And it was so cool because we were playing a game together and he would... like stand behind me as I was playing and be like, all right, now go to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, now don't do anything here. Like block. Okay, now grab. Okay, now use your special. And it's like, it was like basically he was just in my ear.
Well, he did that for both of us. Though.
He did.
It wasn't just like you got the coaching.
Yeah.
Right.
He did that for both of us. We both got.
But he did give some really good like aha strategies.
It was incredible.
Yeah. So your character is Min, right?
My character's Min. Yeah.
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
Well, he had me sort of switch up characters, and I used, now I'm blanking, Master Mummy, was that the name? The big guy.
The big guy, yeah.
And he was like,
that's right.
He was like, equip one of the really big ones.
Yeah, like the big ball.
Yeah.
And then one like sort of lighter one.
Yeah, and so use the big one to kind of block your attacks.
Or stun your
and keep you in a defensive state and then really get in the quick shots.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a really great strategy, actually. Yeah. It works really well.
It works really well. He also taught me something that I kind of was like unconsciously doing. Like if I get really freaked out and panic, I would start like jumping around. Because I was like, you can't get me if I'm jumping. But he's like, actually, that kind of is bad. Because when you're jumping, it's very easy for your opponent to grab you. And now you're sort of, you're flustered, right? Yeah. So you're just like kind of wildly jumping. Like, don't do that. And so after taking all of his tips and everything, and then that same E3, we had that ARMS tournament.
Yeah, where he really became a star.
He was able to play the winner, which was Zerk. And Zerk is also a very good ARMS player. Maybe I could beat him though. I don't know. We'll see. But at the very end of that match, they did this really fun thing where before he handed him the big like championship belt, Mr. Yabuki got on stage and played and like basically.
He was doing like Bruce Lee moves like out
he
there.
Was like
he was
crazy.
Crazy.
His character is also, I mean, he plays all the characters, but he also plays Min.
Right.
And it was like the most like, oh my gosh, he was just he like came alive on that stage. Like he
became like a different person almost.
It was kind of insane, like because we spent a lot of time with him, and he's very, very nice, but very reserved. Yeah, he's quiet. Usually he's a little bit shy almost, right? And I was shocked. Like, I could not believe that he just like totally came alive, came out of his shell in that moment. I think Mr. Yabuki was trending on Twitter because he was so just a star, you know? And so he really like kind of, everyone was like, there was a big spotlight on him. And this is a really funny moment at the end of that E3 where
I mean, you could call it funny, you could call it cringy, you could call it a lot of things.
It was interesting. So one thing that the big like E3, the global planning team does at the end of E3, this is actually pretty rough, but so E3, ends on a Thursday, last day of the show. And usually, at that point, every single person that's been working that show is completely exhausted. Like I think my brain just is on, it's like the little like zzz, it's like a little bit of power left, but it's pretty shaky at this point. And so you're exhausted. And there's this thing that the entire global team do called the global meeting. Yeah,
which is just like a big meeting at the end of the show. Just talk about like, well, what worked, what didn't, what do we need to think about going forward. And it's like, I understand why we're doing this.
Yeah, it's important.
Because people are starting to leave like the next day. Mm-hmm. But having like a multi-hour meeting, like as this week-long like marathon is ending is really rough. And it's true, everybody is in bad shape.
Everybody's in bad shape.
Like people are just like pounding coffee in this evening meeting.
Yep, it's always from like 6 o'clock to unknown
It can go, time. It goes as long as it needs to, is the truth.
And it is like, sometimes you just don't know and you just hope and like, pray like, please let this be a short meeting. Please let this, and you're hungry and tired.
Yeah, and every year there was like, oh no, we're making changes. It's going to be a quick one. We know everybody's tired, and it's like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's just gonna go.
And then you're just, oh my gosh, it is just like the ending of that show. Just you kind of almost dread it a little bit.
But you were put on the spot in the meeting.
I was put on the spot in the meeting. So we were in the meeting where we're going through. We kind of do like highlights, lowlights, next steps, kind of thing. So some of the highlights we were talking about, of course, our wonderful star, Mr. Yabuki came up.
What are we going to do with Mr. Yabuki?
Again, he was trending on Twitter. Yeah. There was videos of him everywhere. There's photos of him with his like crazy kung fu moves, like in his awesome arms, like yellow, like neon yellow track jacket, using those neon yellow Joy-Cons that you love so much, right? Those, so you had that in common with him. So there was this like star power moment. So the head of this meeting from Japan, he's kind of like the head of all of the E3 planning and just kind of a big wig, right? Turns to us. There was me and two other women on our team that were sitting in a row. Turns to us and looks at us and goes, "What do the women think of Mr. Yabuki?" And this really snapped us out of our stupor here. We were like
wiping the drool off your chin. What?
Let me just pound this coffee before we answer you. It was very interesting. I think the context was that they want to know, we were trying to think of like what else we could do with Mr. Yabuki after E3. Is there more videos we could make? Is there more events that he could go to?
Maybe there's some sort of a calendar with Mr. Yabuki and various outfits that we could come up with. I don't know. Could have asked me. I got great ideas about this, all right?
Yabuki a day calendar. There you go.
Oh, just tear it off.
Tear it off.
Ooh, that's a lot of pictures to take. Wow.
365 pictures to take of you in various scenarios. So there, it was very... I mean, we all just kind of like was like, blah, 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 blah. Like we
mumbled something.
We again had barely two brain cells to rub together at that point.
It's a ridiculous question.
And we did it. I don't even remember. I think we were like, this is what I said actually. I said I found him attractive because of his confidence. I think that's what I said, which is true.
Okay.
People that are very confident is attractive, and that he really kind of like commanded that stage with his confidence. Yeah. So I think that's what I said. I was like, whatever we could do to showcase that is good. And then I was like, please stop talking to me. I think one of the women that was on sort of on the the question end of that
Yeah.
had a very bad migraine that day, and she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I can't answer this question. I need to lay down. Like,
The lights, they're too bright.
They're too bright. He's too bright. She was like having a really hard time, but all of us were just kind of like, what now?
That's hilarious.
So that happened.
But that was not the end of it.
That was not the end of my ARMS journey.
No,
so
gosh.
we all go back to the office, and we do this thing at Nintendo that was pretty fun. It was like a sort of like an inner office tournament.
Right.
This one I think was just for
ARMS.
ARMS.
So we've done them with Mario Kart, Splatoon, Smash.
Yep. So any of the competitive games we've done.
Yeah, and it was something where like almost everybody in the office, it was like a big tournament.
Big tournament.
So I was like, all right, I'll do it. I don't have any expectations to win. But you
made it to the final 2. And there was this big, like, sort of finals competition at the office.
Right.
The thing that was kind of crazy that they sprung on us at the last minute was they're like, oh, by the way, for this finals, you have to use motion control.
Well, there were a lot of details about this final. So
Yeah.
you had to use motion control.
Yeah.
It was part of this bigger meeting for the office.
That's
It was
right.
like everybody in the office was there
Yeah.
to watch. And it was
global president.
part of when Mr. Kimishima, who was the global president
At the time.
successing Mr. Iwata, was there visiting. So he was there to watch.
And to award the prizing.
So the pressure was on.
Pressure was really on.
My goodness.
So they told us like 24 hours
Yeah.
in advance all of these details, basically. And I was like, huh?
Oh.
Really? The person I was fighting is also somebody on our team. So
Right.
our team really represents.
No, I think that's who I lost to.
You lost to him.
So I
yeah.
didn't do too badly.
No, you did well.
I was like
you
either-
also got the training and
I
did
was like
well.
either a round or 2 rounds behind you.
Yeah. And he's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's also good at all the other fighting
Right,
games too. He's
right.
actually quite good at all of them,
Yeah.
and he's big into that. So, so we both were kind of like shooketh
Right.
a little bit. Like he was like, "Oh, we have to use motion control."
Do you remember
like,
what character he used?
I want to. Who was the green, the jiggly guy?
Kid Cobra?
No,
Oh.
the slimy guy.
Oh. I can't remember these names now.
I know.
Oh, no.
We gotta look it up.
Man, arms really fell off.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Jeez.
No one cares. We need to. Well, you know what? We'll ask him.
That character was ridiculous.
The jiggly guy.
And gross.
Really. That one, like, you don't want to fight against him because you're just, like, grossed out by it a little bit. I, of course, stuck with my Min.
Yeah.
Tried and true. And it was, the pressure really was on.
It was. You could feel the tension.
You could feel it. There was
Yeah.
tension. Like, he didn't want to lose.
High drama.
I didn't want to lose,
I remember it was very close, but...
I put my hair in a ponytail. I was very, like, serious about this.
Yeah.
It was very close. I think it came down to, like, the very last match.
Yeah.
And I won.
That's right.
Office champ.
Good for you.
And I got a prize of Super Mario Monopoly from Mr. Kimishima.
Of course.
Shook my hand and everything.
Perfect prize for an ARMS tournament.
Yeah. It was so weird. What a weird, like, journey with ARMS.
Yeah.
Like, the highs and the lows,
Yeah.
But, yeah. A little unfortunate that game never caught on. I haven't played in a long time. I wonder if I can still do it.
I'm sure you can.
I think
you just have, like,
I think I have,
an
like...
instinct for
I think so, too. Yeah. So maybe I should try it again one of these days just to see. See how I do, but... Yeah, I when the game was at its height for the very short time that it was, I had fun with it. And I, of course, love Mr. Yabuki.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's so amazing, and it was so cool to just see him like blossom into a star that
hopefully
day.
we see him again soon.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah. So there we go. That was my very short journey into the stardom of esports.
That's right.
In a game that no one cares about, but it was fun.
One shining moment.
My shining moment into the fame of esports. But yeah, it was fun. Okay.
On to our Never a Minute segment, which you may be unprepared for. I'm not sure.
I might be unprepared for, but we'll see.
Do you have anything for this?
I do.
All right, so we're gonna do something overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
Yes.
Which is always fun to know what people think about things that are overrated or underrated. This became kind of a trend in our team, when we would have somebody new join, there was a tradition of asking them ridiculous questions.
Right. It's just to gauge their personality. There were wrong and right answers.
So one was like, what would you bring on a desert island? That's not that weird of a question.
Yeah, or like, what kind of superpower would you have? Invisibility or flying? See, that one has a right or wrong answer. Answer in the comments and we'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
There's one that's wrong. I had one that kind of got out of control.
Yeah, top 3 nuts.
Which is list your top 3 nuts.
Someone said acorn one time. You know who you are.
Person who went on to great things.
Said acorn.
This was like his first day, got off to a bit of a rough start with the acorns.
Your direct report. A little embarrassing for you.
My hand-picked employee.
Yeah, said acorn as his favorite nut. Okay.
But after a couple of those, all right, this gag's getting old, we need to move on.
Right.
But people would not let it move on.
Right, so we had to come up with a new one.
Well, no, we just added more.
We just added more.
Yeah, it was like, oh, and it's time for the top 3 nuts. I'm like, no, we have to stop doing this. Haha, yeah, right. We're going to keep doing it until we pound it into the ground.
Yeah. Did we still do I don't know if they still do it. That's pretty funny.
What are your top 3 nuts for the record? People want to know.
Oh, I do have top 3 nuts. Pistachios number 1.
Yeah.
Almonds, Marcona almonds to be specific.
Oh, come on. Fine.
And I like peanuts.
I have cashews, almonds, and peanuts. Cashews number 1.
Okay, cashews
Don't come after me, the people that peanuts not a nut.
It's the legume.
We're not playing technicalities here. We're playing nuts, all right? They're delicious.
Peanuts are good.
Yeah, we have a question about peanuts actually in the Q&A later, believe it or not. We do?
Oh, how exciting. Wow, the nut questions. They transcend.
So we have 3, well, I don't know what you got, but we got a couple lists of things where we are each going to ask each other, and you're going to say if it's overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
Yes, and we do have a bonus dessert.
Right.
Underrated, overrated, underrated.
Yes, because that was the question that would get asked in these team meetings.
Yes, okay.
So
why don't you go first since I'm unprepared
since you are truly unprepared. I'm going to start you off with an interesting one.
Okay.
The category here is Reggie memes. I'm going to give you 3. My body is ready. 1. 2, not my problem. And 3, what's wrong with you? Our favorite, perhaps.
You want me to say?
Well, they can all. You don't have to have one that's overrated. It's your judgment.
Okay.
So whatever you think they are.
Okay. Let's see. I think my body is ready is overrated.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I mean, wasn't that funny?
Jeez, tough crowd. Okay.
I mean, it was cute, but it's like a little bit overused.
Okay.
And like for every situation, everyone always uses that, so it's like, can we come up with something else?
It's become overrated over time.
It's become overused and overrated over time.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So then you got not my problem and what's wrong with you.
What's wrong with you is properly rated, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think what's wrong with you is properly rated.
Properly rated.
Because I think people still bring that up pretty often.
Well, they bring up all these.
Yeah, but, it's not overused though.
It's not. Yeah.
So it is used in the situations where it makes sense to be used in. And I would say, what was the last one?
Not my problem.
That one is underrated for sure.
When you pair it with the picture of him going like this, then you get a chef's kiss moment right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
well,
right.
so you actually had an underrated, properly rated, and overrated.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that. You could have done it however you want. But okay, I think I would feel like my body is ready is properly rated. I think it's iconic. It's been overused a little bit, but it's still
overused.
But it's still good. It's still good. What a ridiculous thing to say. Come on.
Okay. All right.
My body is ready.
I don't understand why it became my body is Reggie.
Well, you got a riff on it.
I know, but like that's.
All right, maybe it's just this humor just didn't click with you.
I get the joke.
The joke didn't land.
I get the joke.
All right, what do you got? You have a blank piece of paper here?
Okay, here's one.
Why were you not prepared for this?
Because I thought we were doing a different segment. Because we planned for all the segments because I'm not going to be here because it's my birthday.
You got to pay attention.
I got to pay attention. You're right. No, that's bad. No, I have one.
All
okay.
Right.
Fitness games.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wii Fit.
Yeah.
Ring Fit.
Yeah.
And fitness boxing.
Fitness boxing. So I think Ring Fit is I think it's properly rated. I think it's gotten its due.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, there's a lot of people, like, you saw that
There's
game
a lot
on,
of
like,
legitimacy now.
that game was on, like, top 10 lists the year it came out. Like, so many people are like, whoa, this game kicked my butt, like, with like, real exercise.
Or, like, I have, like, a real regiment now.
Yeah, there's, like, Andre from Game Explain. He's like, I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got an 8-pack.
Yeah, Andre.
Show us your 8-pack, Andre,
Take
please.
your shirt off.
Maybe he can have a calendar.
With Mr. Yabuki?
Every day there's a new pack. You got 365 packs. Yeah, his whole body is just a pack. See a doctor if that happens. So what were the Wii Fit? That's overrated. I mean, that was like, people are like, oh, you know, Wii stuff was a fad. Like, I think that really was a fad.
And you got a big old balance board.
And it's like, and you play that, it's like, what am I actually doing on this? I'm just standing still to try and make balance.
Trying to make balance.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm like, I'm just standing on this. Like, you're messing up, buddy. I'm like, I'm just standing still.
Your
so I guess
feet.
Apparently, my balance is atrocious. What was the other one? Fitness boxing.
Fitness boxing. That might also be. That's just a bad game.
I think it's properly rated. Okay. I think, like, there's probably, like, a pretty hardcore community for that, but it's not the best.
It's not the best.
Yeah.
It's a very like bland experience. Yeah. All right. Look at that. Coming on the spot.
All right. On the spot. I have another interesting one for you.
Okay.
Japanese game developers. Platinum Games first. Number 2, Monolith Soft of Xenoblade fame. And finally, From Software of Elden Ring and Soulsborne fame. Platinum Games, of course, of Bayonetta and many other things fame.
Okay, so he's Platinum Games,
Monolith,
and
FromSoft.
FromSoft.
Yes.
FromSoft. Okay. Platinum Games.
First.
Properly rated, I think.
Okay, yeah, I think so too.
Very cinematic games. Studio is, filled with cool people that sort of like embody the vibe of the game, as it were, I would say. And like solid experiences.
The batting average is not perfect.
No.
They have some of these games, it's like, well, maybe you were doing this to make a buck.
Yeah.
But they still have their A team working on stuff like Bayonetta, and that always comes through.
It always comes through.
And they'll surprise you with something like an Astral Chain 2.
Exactly. And then they do have like a brand. Like they have like a certain
a mystique
feeling, right? That they not only themselves embody as a studio, as developers, but also the games itself. Like they all kind of fit together. Right. It just fits, right? Yeah. So I like that.
So that's properly rated.
Properly rated. Okay. And then
Monolith.
A little one note, but
of course Nintendo does own Monolith, so that's one difference between these others.
Sure.
Because those two are truly independent.
I guess they do more than Xenoblade games. They do some other stuff too.
See, they do a lot of. They're like supporting on. Like they supported Breath of the Wild.
So maybe they're underrated.
Is that your answer?
Because like they don't get like the glory really for all the work that they might be doing behind the scenes. It's I had to think through this because at first if I was just considering their work on Xenoblade games, I would say they were like properly rated because those games are obviously like great, like awesome experiences, like huge games.
Yeah.
But not a lot of creativity sometimes if you're just only doing one kind of game.
Fired.
No, not in that way.
You turn this into a paper bag. Not a lot of creativity.
Well, if you're just making Xenoblade
the Bionis. Fine. I mean, this is your opinion. Please direct the comments to you on your birthday.
Someone said Krysta's opinions scare me. Maybe this is why.
They're very aggressive all the time. I would say they're underrated too.
I think they're underrated because of that reason.
For those reasons.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. They probably do so much that we don't see, and they don't get really like the proper credit for it.
Yeah. And then From Software.
Underrated.
Really?
I think so.
Still underrated after they had this game. It's going to be Game of the Year.
I think
all these hits before this?
Because like they have a very niche audience until Elden Ring. Exactly. Until Elden Ring. Like everyone knew about the Souls games and all that stuff, but not a lot of people could like really appreciate what they do until Elden Ring. Now everyone's like, FromSoft, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. Of course, that just cemented them as like, hopefully they won't be underrated anymore. But yeah, for a long time, like, for me especially, like, I could not get through any of those other Souls games, so it was just kind of like throwaway, you know? So until now. So yeah, I would say. Okay, yeah.
Do you have another for me?
Okay, how about...
Making it up on the fly? That's not good.
Okay, bosses.
Uh-huh.
Bowser.
Yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah.
And what's a third boss that's could be interesting?
Ridley.
Sure.
Mother Brain.
Ridley is good.
Ridley.
Let's do Bowser, Ridley, and Ganon.
I think Bowser's underrated.
Really?
Yeah, Bowser's everywhere. Bowser's been around the block.
Okay.
But I still think there's more to Bowser, more layers to the Bowser onion that we can still peel away. Like when Bowser's in those RPGs, it's awesome.
There's a backstory
and you get more flavor, and then there's like, like Bowser has this whole, like all these underlings, we got the Koopalings.
Yeah.
And it's like we're creating this whole tapestry of Bowser's world. And then
and
there was the art of like hipster dad Bowser that was cool.
True. The
it's
hipster
like,
dad Bowser was very cool.
We can riff on Bowser endlessly.
Yeah.
And it's still good.
Yeah, because if you just look at Bowser in the context of like a Mario game, it's easy to just throw him away as like, oh, that's just like some enemy.
You think it's like a one note. It's like, oh, he's the big guy. He shoots fire, whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but no.
Okay.
Mario movie. I got high hopes for Bowser. That's all I'm going to say. Do not say a word about the Mario movie.
He's going to sing.
Zip it! Zip it!
You really don't like
what was the next one?
Ridley.
Oh, Ganon.
And Ganon.
Ganon and Ridley. I think Ganon is properly rated. You know, you got all the different versions. You got Ganon, you got Ganondorf, you got the pig version.
Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, it's good. I think he gets his he gets his recognition.
He has a lot of backstory and
he definitely
different
does.
forms and stuff like
Ridley. There's a lot of big Ridley fans out there.
I think it's
for reasons that I don't completely understand.
Yeah.
I think Ridley's properly rated.
Oh, really?
I think some of the Other M backstory, again, nobody likes Other M, but I thought that brought some interesting backstory to it.
Yeah.
You got that like cyborg Ridley. That's cool.
Okay.
So I think it's good. Yeah.
I think it's overrated. There's too many people that like Ridley for some reason.
I think those people are maybe going a bit far with it. It's just a lizard.
Not like Bowser, who's not just a lizard.
No, I think...
If you compare Bowser and Ridley, they're both dinosaur things.
Ridley's onion. How many more layers are there? We might be at the end of the onion.
There's no onion.
We might be at the end of this analogy, actually.
It's just a peel.
We might have gone too far. This analogy was overrated from the start. All right, you're out. Are we going to move on to desserts? We have desserts?
Okay, we can do desserts.
All right. So this is just your own list.
Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I'll add some drama here.
Yes.
Properly rated, ice cream. Ice cream's great. People like ice cream. It gets a lot of love, but it deserves it.
It's on every menu, and
it deserves it.
It's a staple.
There's a lot of you can do a lot of variations on ice cream.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of different things with ice cream. You can put ice cream on
stuff
other
to
desserts.
enhance other desserts.
Great. Everybody loves ice cream.
Okay.
Underrated, pie.
Well, you like pie.
My favorite dessert. Again, you get the variety. You can go sweet. You can go savory. It's a dessert usually, but guess what? You can have a chicken pot pie that's delicious.
You can have a savory pie.
And blow your mind. Pie is the best dessert out there. And then overrated's cake.
Okay.
Cake is. I mean, don't see again. You're not getting a birthday cake. You might be getting a birthday pie.
I like birthday pie.
Yeah.
You got a birthday pie.
People in the office caught on. They would bring me a birthday pie. They knew.
That's true.
Yeah. I liked that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And what really upset me, again, this was somebody who worked for me at the time. At one of my birthdays, before we switched over to the pie, she said, a lot of places put mayonnaise in cake mix. And I just about spat that cake out.
As you took a bite of the cake?
That was a really mean thing to say. Might as well have said it was poisoned.
That was mean because you.
That was mean
because it was almost like she slipped the mayonnaise into the pie.
Well, she didn't make it
into the cake.
But she's like, oh, I think a lot of places make this with mayonnaise these days. I was like, excuse you.
Why would you tell somebody
That's
that?
an awful thing to say.
Mean.
Awful. All right, you go ahead.
Okay, so properly rated, I would say, is like truffles or chocolates.
Huh? Oh. Like a box of chocolates.
Like chocolates, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Like fancy chocolates, properly rated.
Is that a dessert or is that like a snack?
I think it's a dessert.
Okay.
Someone can wheel a dessert cart.
It's your list. Yeah.
Over to you.
All right.
Yeah, so like truffles, chocolates.
Bonbons.
Like bonbons. Vittles. Sweets, vittles, properly rated.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's like everyone expects it to be good and you have like different flavors and you're just like, if you're at a nice place and they bring you like the chocolate cart, like it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's good. Or someone buys you a box of chocolates, it's going to be good. Underrated, I would say.
I can jump in here if you need help.
No. Underrated. No. I can't say pie.
You didn't prepare for this either.
No, I also believe that pie is underrated.
Well, you can say that.
But no, I want to choose a different
All right,
one.
I'm jumping in here.
Why? Why are you always jumping in?
Because you don't have an answer.
I do have an answer.
Then what is it?
Okay, fine, jump in.
Cookies are underrated.
Oh, you're right. Cookies are underrated.
Cookies are delicious.
Cookies are underrated.
I have a problem with cookies where once I get going, I cannot stop. And of course, like you just like, well, I made 3 dozen cookies. So I was like, well, now I'm just going to sit down and eat them all like some animal. It's bad. But cookies are really good.
There's this new place that opened next to my house. It's across the street. It's called Insomniac Cookies.
Yeah.
They only open from the hours of 4 to midnight.
4
p.m.
I'm like, well, let's get this straight now. 4.
And it is such a great idea because after you eat dinner and you're like, I'm going to go for a quick little walk with the dogs or whatever, where you walk to, walk into the cookie store. Because that place they warm the cookies up for you. It's so good.
It's a fresh cookie out of the oven.
It is so good.
Yeah.
And I'm a basic cookie person. Like I just like chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
I basically like
it's not good.
Yeah, I don't like fancier cookies. No. Like I'm not into that. Overrated macarons.
Huh? Oh.
French macarons.
Yeah, what some people might consider to be macaroon. But
not
but
macaroons.
Not. No, the French.
That's a different dessert. Macarons are like what you get from Monterey. Like that place that people stand in line for like 8 hours to get a macaron. It's like, it's just fine.
It's not my favorite.
A weird texture. Sometimes they taste good, but it's like you have one and you're like, I don't really.
The entire country of France is going to be in your comments on your birthday.
Oh, there's somebody from Montpellier in our Patreon.
They're going to be mad.
Maybe you can change my mind. Yeah. Send me a box.
You haven't had a Montpellier macaron.
I'll go there and have one, and we can decide.
That's like Seattle teriyaki. We'll talk about that someday.
Later. Yeah.
But not now.
Okay.
All
so
right.
Tell us your overrated, underrated, properly rated. This is like a team meeting now. Tell us your top 3 nuts in the comments.
Nuts, please.
Tell us and if it's an acorn, then you no longer are allowed to be here.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. Tell us your properly rated, underrated, and overrated desserts in the comments, and we will get to know each other so much better from this discussion.
All right. On to what we're playing, which is exciting because this is our final Elden Ring update. So
something happened.
Well, last week, so I tapped out on this game. I have not touched it since I've been doing other things. But you,
something happened.
What happened?
I beat it.
Congratulations. Play a air horn or something. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Well,
I beat my first Souls game.
So how many attempts was it on this last boss?
Oh, a lot.
100?
No, less than that. It took a while. So
more or less than the fire giant.
Probably about the same.
About the same?
Yeah. But it was also less frustrating because I didn't have to fight the camera as much.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so it was more so like, I know what I have to do, I just have to do it.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh shoot, the camera messed up again. Now I can't see anything and I'm dead.
That was annoying.
Which was very frustrating for me because I was like, it's not my fault. It's not, I'm not trying to do this. This one was more so like, okay, I just got to learn his attacks. Right. So where we left off, you had tapped out. And I think you did the right thing because you are a bit under-leveled. And when you go back to this game, later on, you can do some of the side quests and like get yourself properly leveled for that battle.
I was listening to, I love listening to the Play podcast, and they were kind of in the same place in their latest episode, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I finished the game. I had 150 hours, and I was like level 175." I was like,
What?
Like, I'm under 100 hours for sure, and I'm like level 105.
Okay.
So I was I was maybe I really was in a terrible position.
Right.
I made it that far though.
You made it really far actually for just kind of sticking to the main quest or whatever. Right. And not really going out of your way to farm runes. You know, that's actually pretty good. So I actually was properly leveled. I was a level 122 when I beat the game. I probably had around 90 to 100, 95 to 100 hours in the game. So I was like, I think, you know, in my brain, I was like, I have a shot to do this. Like, I don't need to do anything else to be able to do that. I just have to learn the moves. And I had toyed with the idea of like, okay, I could go and get a better weapon by finishing up the Ranny quest. That everyone's like, you should just do that before you beat the game. And I was like, I don't want to.
You reach the point where you just don't want to do anything else. You just want to finish it.
I wanted to finish it. And I also knew that while it was probably, I made it a little bit harder for myself, like I could do it. Like I was like, I am getting better each time I play this, like each time I try to beat this boss.
Right.
So yeah, I just stuck with, I was like, this is where the stubbornness is helpful, where I just basically just stuck with it for like days, many days.
It was
like
a true reflection of our personalities.
It was really truly a reflection of who we are as people. Yeah. It was like pretty much at the end, you know, one shot Radigan, and then I go into the Elden Beast fight, and I would just learn, like dodge here, run to the left when he does that, run back when he does this, and then eventually I executed it in a way where it was enough for me to beat him. Like there was no like special thing that happened, you know. I just learned. But yes, I felt really good. Finally beat him at the end. I got like the normal. I think there was like 6
Sounds like there's a lot of endings.
Yeah, I got the normal ending because I did not do the Randy quest.
Was the ending anything special? Don't spoil it, but was it
no. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter for
just
you.
Like rolls the credits, basically.
There's like 30 seconds of dialogue, like blah, 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 and then some.
Right.
You see yourself somewhere.
That's what I expected.
And then the credits roll.
Right.
And then you can just like go back to the round table and continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I did look up the other endings. I know one of my friends, one of our friends, is playing the Frenzy ending. He did like some crazy quest, he said.
So I don't even know how you get these different endings.
There's a quest that you do to unlock that ending, and apparently that one is supposed to be like the coolest one. So
the coolest 30 seconds?
I guess so. I don't know. I need to watch the endings on YouTube or something because I got the very normal basic
George
endings,
R. Martin earning his money.
That's right. Built that tree.
He came up with 6 30-second endings for you guys.
Took him 4 years. Just picking on that typewriter. Okay, anyways. But yes, we're done. Wrapping it up.
Well, I'm not done.
Okay.
But I'm not going back to it anytime. I do still think about that game a lot. It's like I do really want to do that, but not right now.
You know, I was towards the end of this journey with this game. Yeah. I definitely was getting to the point where like I must beat this game.
Getting antsy.
I get a little antsy. Yeah. Like I want to move on to some other games. But the moment that I beat that game, I was like, I kind of
what did you do? Did you jump up and down? Did you scream?
There was jumping, there was screaming. I opened a bottle of wine.
Inappropriate gestures to the TV because like I got you.
No, I scared the dog a little bit. I opened a bottle of wine.
Okay. Good for you.
Took a nice long drink to steal my nerves to watch the 30 seconds. Yeah. The 30-second ending. It was like 11 p.m. I was like, yes! But yeah, like, it's so crazy how this game just took over my life, basically, our lives, for, 2 months about?
More than 2, 2.5.
Every single day, I played that game. Right. When I was not playing that game, I was talking about that game. When I wasn't talking about it, I was watching YouTube videos on how to, do things in the game, how to get these items, how to do this quest or whatever. So now I'm like, what do I do with all my time? Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't, like, I still get, like,
it's like you like came out, like you were like Austin Powers. You came out of like deep freeze.
That's true.
Like, what has happened to the world? What do I do with myself?
Exactly. But I miss it. I truly like immediately afterwards I was like, I kind of miss it. already.
Yeah.
Obviously won't be going back right now because I have other games I want to play and get into. But I can definitely see myself going back, and there's areas of the map that I don't even have yet, I can go back and do more there.
Yeah, unless we really get shocked. I mean, this could be a very anticlimactic game of the year.
With everything being delayed at this
point.
There's
what else is there?
There's so many funny comments. It's like, once more. Elden Ring has, with every delay, it's like, once more.
Somebody's going to zag. Somebody's going to be like, Elden Ring was great, but you know what I really loved was this.
No
and
way.
It's like, well, that's fine.
Those judges are tricksy. We'll see what happens.
They're like, oh, I'm tired of talking about this game.
The other thing, though, people have like bug memories.
Yeah.
Elden Ring did come out in the beginning of the year, February game. So by November when they do the Judges Week stuff, it's like, don't forget. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, this game, it's in my top probably 5 of all time. Like, amazing. Really, I mean, can't believe it. My first Souls game that I ever beat, I could not believe. The moment that I started that game, I was like, oh, there's no way. I'm going to play this game for like an hour and I'm going to stop. Can you believe it?
You were afraid.
I was so afraid. That big giant guy on a horse just like ran, like basically like the first thing you see,
over.
You're dead. Like, oh. But yeah, we made it. We made it to the end of the Elden Ring update.
Very proud of you. Congratulations.
Yay.
So you started Cyberpunk just like I did.
I did. I'm a little behind you because I was.
Why you gotta copy me?
I wanted to play it.
Be your own person.
Oh.
What's going on?
Why?
What?
Why are you coming at me for this?
I'm just positing a thought. Just putting it out there.
We have similar gaming taste.
No, I like
you
it.
and I. The reason why I think I went to this game next is because it's short. And there's an easy mode.
Well, so the shortness is interesting. So we were talking to a mutual friend who had beaten the game, and I told him, I was like, well, I'm playing this game. And he said, oh, that game was cool, but I was really surprised at how short the main story was. And I hadn't really thought about that. I was like, oh, this will probably be, a good like 30, 40 hours.
30 hours.
So I played Witcher, and like that game's crazy long.
Right.
So I looked it up. There's a great website. I think it's just like Time to Beat.
That's a good website. Somebody else was talking about that too.
I love that site.
That site is very helpful.
And it was like, if you're just doing like the critical path main story, it's like 20 hours. And I was, what? And of course, if you do all the bonus stuff, you get into like 60 plus hours. And I'm already like, 12 hours in. So I'm like more than halfway there. Yeah. Like, whoa. So that kind of reframed the way I'm looking at what's happening now.
Yeah. I need a palate cleanser game that's different in every way from Elden Ring. Yeah. So this game obviously has a completely different look. It's completely different play style. Right. It has, it's shorter. Yeah. It's very it has an easy mode. I definitely picked the easy mode. Don't come at me. I was I need to chill. Yeah. I want to enjoy the story. Like this game has vibes. This is a vibe check game for sure. Right. So I was just excited to have this as like a nice in between before I jump into maybe like another bigger game, Yeah. And it's going really well. So I really like it so far. Like I have not run into any bugs or anything like that. Yeah. No issues. Yeah. Playing on PS5. No issues at all for me. The customization is like crazy for this game. Maybe like part of the 20 hours is you customizing your character. I don't know.
Maybe some parts don't need that much customization.
You guys know what we're talking about.
That's all I'm going to say.
Family friendly show. Okay. But yeah, there's wherever you want to customize, you can. And the story is super interesting. You can kind of pick between 3 types of characters. You and I picked different ones.
Some of the I kind of lose. I understand the very broad storyline. Some of the specifics of it, I'm getting a little lost with.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I generally understand. What is happening.
Yeah. It's got the whole Blade Runner dystopian world.
Yeah. But you're still pretty early. So
I'm still pretty early.
There's a big thing that's about to happen in your game.
There's a big thing that happened last night that I was pretty surprised by. I also like this kind of this Japanese corporate vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to me.
Like that.
It's wow.
I've really been missing that.
But I mean, it's I get it. there's some nuances.
I like how you chose the class was like corporate burnout.
That was the class
like,
that I chose.
That's truly you.
It was like the opening screen for that description was like you can't get out of the corporation alive with your soul intact. And I'm like, oh yes I can.
Corpo scum. It's like the first scene should be you in the post E3 meeting just hammering coffee.
I should be hammering like tequila shots.
That would be hilarious.
I like how like the other thing is like she gets into the self-driving car and she just like pounds champagne. I'm like, yeah, that's like totally me.
Wow.
I love it. Okay. So yeah, I picked that. You picked like the street thug.
Right. I was like, I just, these games, like, I don't like to get too cute with it. Like, I want to do like pretty like straightforward damage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is like some street brawler kind of thing. So it's like, it's fine. And I've totally been like maxing out all the like weapon based stats.
Yeah.
Like you can max out more of your like hacking and intelligence. Like I don't touch that stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I'm doing more.
I'm dumb.
Duh. But I've been doing more of the intelligence stuff and the tech and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you, I've still have not seen. I've seen like one or two really small bugs, which is to be expected in a game this size. I am starting to see a few more of just like maybe some of the shortcomings that people pointed out, where like the open world feels a little empty at times.
I see.
Like I'll be in like the downtown of like the city, and it's like 7 p.m. and there's like a car and like a pedestrian.
I see. Okay.
Where it's like, oh, that doesn't feel completely right. Or I think also the open world like doesn't invite you to explore it as much as some other games. It's a hard thing for me to describe, but I don't feel super compelled to go off of the main story.
Right, I see.
It's like I know they're
right now. I'm pretty much on the main story. It hasn't opened up.
Early on, you can't.
Yeah.
But I'm at the point where I could, but it's like,
what is the motivation?
Yeah, it's like
to
I
do
have
that?
I have missions that are there. Like people are like calling me, like, hey, do this thing. It's like I don't feel very compelled to do it. So I'm enjoying it though. I sort of viewing it as like a popcorn kind of game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like just watching cutscenes and talking to like really interesting characters and stuff.
Yeah.
I do like just like the look of all the characters.
Yeah,
like
it is
everybody's
very
look is so diverse.
Yeah.
Like usually like when you play a big open world game like this, like you can tell that the character models are like kind of like clones of each other.
Yeah.
Like I do not get that sense at all in this game. Like everybody just has like such unique personalities and like even like the way they move and stuff. I'm like, this is so like realistic.
Yeah.
Like you go to a club and you're like, this is like what it feels like.
And the environments are super detailed. And like everything feels very custom. Like we were talking about that hotel area that you were in, which is like a beautiful like upscale hotel that
Japanese,
is like designed down to the inch.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's super cool. It was like very realistic. Like that they just got the like the feeling of being in a place like that so accurately. Like wow, you know. And of course there's like lots of dramatic moments, like cinematic, like those kinds of cutscenes where you have to like you're in a cutscene and all of a sudden you have to like press the button or whatever. They have a lot of those kind of like planned things that like kind of give you like that like jolt, you know. So it's good so far. I really like it.
I'll be curious to see what kind of weapon you end up focusing on, because I guess now I'm more than halfway there. I'm still kind of figuring that out.
There's so many weapons you pick up off the floor.
Like I've really gravitated towards the swords. Which
I didn't even know you could use a sword. I only have guns right now.
The swords are really cool. And you do need to use guns because there's times where there'd be like, you're fighting 5 guys.
Okay.
And you need something to deal with the crowd, but like if you get up close, like the sword is super good. It feels really satisfying to use too.
I have not even encountered that, but that sounds really cool.
The shooting is a little...
I don't really like the shooting. I feel like either I'm very, very bad at aiming or the aiming is just kind of weird.
I think the aiming is weird, and I think a lot of those guns have like big recoil too.
Yeah, so it's like you shoot and then your aim is totally thrown off.
Just like spraying everywhere.
And I don't really think it's doing that much damage.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I like go up and just punch him in the face, it's like way
I've been using like I have a pistol and I have this katana.
Okay.
And that's been doing pretty well for me.
I did pick up this last night when I was in this like pretty like crazy area with a lot of enemies. I picked up this like energy gun.
Oh.
Basically like electrocute them.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Which is kind of, it's like a shotgun where you like electrocute them.
Wow.
So that's kind of interesting. It had to reload a whole bunch, but that was kind of, I haven't seen that before. So, there's a lot to like choose from. I haven't really figured it out yet either.
All right.
gear. You have like a sleeveless shirt vest.
I look like a real
I got this
dork.
like leather jacket now. It's very cute.
Good for you.
She looks cool. She has a good look. I think she's very fashionable.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. We're probably gonna beat this game soon.
One more game that you were playing from the Indie World Showcase is Soundfall.
Yeah. I that was the game that stood out to me when I was watching that, and so I picked that up. It was a shadow drop, so I picked that up that same day and started playing with it. At first, I was like, "Am I doing this right?" Like that first level.
So what is this game?
So it's like a rhythm, music-based game where you have to fight the enemy mobs to the beat of the song.
Okay.
So you are like basically hitting the trigger button.
The attack button?
The attack button.
So you can move however.
You can move however.
Yeah.
You can, but when you want to dodge, you have to dodge to the beat of the song as well.
Cadence of Hyrule, you had to move to the beat.
Moving is freely moving.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's one difference.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The first level, I think, does sort of a bad job of showing you how to play the game. So I kind of was like, this isn't good. Like, this isn't fun. But then I kept going, and I like kind of powered through that first level. That was like kind of a bad experience. And like the rest of the game is like awesome.
Yeah.
So like if you're playing, like don't give up in the first level. You basically are able to pick up all different kinds of weapons as well. They have like tons of different modifiers. Like some heal you, some like do elemental damage to the enemies. There's a lot of different worlds that you're in. Like there's like like a cityscape. There's like a beach themed world, and each of them have different music kind of tied to it. The music is really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it ended up being like a pretty awesome game.
Wow.
I really like it so far. There is co-op, so
Nice.
yeah, it's fun.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So we've been playing.
Yes.
On to the news.
We have a kind of a meaty
There's a lot. Yeah.
news segment.
We've been holding on to a lot of stuff here. But the
Yeah.
Indie World Showcase, since we're talking about that, we can just kind of touch on that real quick. Mm-hmm. I think we both agreed this was maybe not the best one of these.
No.
But, I mean, the thing that's cool about these is, for the most part, these are games that you are seeing and hearing about for the first time.
Exactly.
So
You're
it's
going to
hard,
find one.
It's hard to judge until you really play or see more of these games.
Right.
Because, who knows, some of these games could be awesome because you're seeing it for the first time, whereas with like a direct or something else, you have a bit more expectation and knowledge baked in.
Yeah, the thing that was disappointing for me is that they had announced so many big games in December that there was not a peep about in this one.
Well, there are a few games that are just getting into like, so what's happening with this? Like, obviously, Silksong is in the meme zone. Like, we
get it.
When the time comes for that, like that'll be in a proper direct.
That's gonna be
it's become too big.
It's way too big.
You've got Sports Story, which has kind of vanished for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of other games that they announced that has like no launch date or no just Sea of Stars was another one that's pretty big.
Fall Guys. I guess Fall Guys is having their event today. Maybe some news come out of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good to get these games out there and to showcase them. I still think this is the best format out of the 3 platform holders for showcasing indie games like this.
Yeah.
But it would have been good to pay off some of that built-up interest and stuff they'd already been talking about.
Exactly.
Even if it's just like hey, here's a quick 30-second update.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
We're still working on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's weird when it just disappears altogether. That's what's concerning.
Yeah.
So that was sort of my only big disappointment. Is like there's just not a peep from any of these things.
Yeah.
So you kind of miss that rhythm of like updating people and keeping their interest.
Exactly.
When you don't do something like that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Nintendo Financials. There's a biggie. I got a lot of excerpts from financial reports for you to study over. Of course, I'm sure you did no prep at all with this.
I did look at this very much.
So this is the financial report for the full past fiscal year.
Yeah.
So it's a biggie. And the foot tapping was off to the races here.
Was the sake pounded open?
I think it was.
I think it was, yes.
So there's always a ton of info that comes out of this. And they also post, I love the Q&As.
Mm-hmm. Those are the best.
They take a couple days to get translated.
Yeah, but there's a lot of nuggets in there.
And they post it on the Nintendo investor
IR
relations.
site.
So if you don't know where these are, you just Google like Nintendo investor relations.
Yeah, you can get that.
And that site's completely in English. And you can find even the materials. Like they have the PowerPoint with the notes.
Yeah.
That's where I pulled some of these from.
They also have those really good charts of like best-selling software.
Right.
Like those, it's like very pretty, like very easy to understand.
So where should we begin here? So this year they sold 23 million Switch hardware units, which was actually down 20% from the previous year.
Probably because of their like.
It's so hard to judge. Like, I would have a little bit of anxiety if I was trying to understand, like, well, how much of this is the life
stock
cycle curve, and how much of this is the supply chain and stocks disruption. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, because if it's a life cycle thing, you might want to do different marketing or different business approaches to try to like.
Or try and reach a different audience entirely.
Yeah, but if it's supply chain, then it's like, well, that's nothing you can do right now.
Yeah,
so
it's
you
like
might not want to do anything,
what it is.
Right? Exactly.
I do lean towards the supply chain still being a major issue. So even though it's down 20%, I would not be like super worried about that. And it's still a pretty big number.
That's a pretty good number. Yeah.
And we did also get here kind of this lifetime sales list. And Switch is now in the top 3 of Nintendo hardware sales. So you got DS at 154 million. That's insane.
That is insane.
That's insane. Game Boy, which includes basically everything up to Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Includes Game Boy Color.
Oh, but Game Boy Advance is here, 81.
Everything up to Game Boy Advance.
Oh, I see.
118 million. And then Switch is right there at 107. And then after that is Wii at 101. And then everything else is in, the double digits of millions.
Oh, Wii U, that's so sad.
So, I mean, Switch will definitely pass Game Boy. Will it get to DS? So, knowing this last year they sold 23 million, you'd need like 2 more years
of that
at
least that level. That's probably not going to happen.
That's tough.
Dang, DS though.
How did that happen? That really
7 years.
Wow.
More than 7 years. How many years of DS?
That's amazing. That's really incredible.
Wow.
And then even broke it down. So standard Switch was 13 million, OLED Switch was 5 million, and then Switch Lite
is really low.
Switch Lite, it's kind of like when we had the 2DS. I was like, oh, 2DS is going to be
Blockbuster,
the thing, the blockbuster, and then it was just kind of like, eh.
It was very meh.
Yeah, that's kind of like been the trend with these kind of modified versions.
I thought that a lot of people were getting Switch Lites to play Animal Crossing because they couldn't get a Switch. But I guess it wasn't really that many.
I mean, it's good to have, but it is limited. Like Switch Sports, you can't really play that.
True.
So I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. And then we also saw some sales numbers for big games. So Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Shining Pearl, 14.65 million units. That's good. But Pokemon Legends Arceus,
that's pretty good for a non-mainline.
12.6 million, which I thought was a great number.
That's great.
And
that's really awesome.
Hopefully gives the Pokemon company a good, pat on the back for being adventurous and taking a big risk. And trying something new. Exactly. I would love to see more games in that style.
Me too.
And then
here's to hoping that Scarlet and Violet is going to take is going to be like a build on top of that, right?
Right.
So.
And then good old Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That is like a cash cow.
Another 10 million units.
What the heck is this happening?
Again.
Well, now they have the great DLC. That's good.
Again, people begging for Mario Kart 9. I wouldn't hold your breath.
I don't think it's ever going to come, guys.
Just it'll come with the next hardware. There's no reason to put out a new Mario Kart game.
Exactly. Not for Switch. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They'll just wait. There was this bit from the Q&A that was, it seems, getting taken a little bit out of context before the official translation came out.
Yeah.
Talking about the transition from Switch to something else.
Right, the next generation.
So the question was and sometimes there's ridiculous questions.
Of course. Can you imagine being in that
from
room?
The shareholders.
And being a shareholder and asking these crazy questions.
Excuse me.
I have a question.
I remember there was one time somebody was complaining about the food that they had at the meetings.
Yeah, that's right.
Buddy, sit down.
Can you please?
But they're talking about how, 6 years in, you've already got, you still have a really big lineup. So why is this cycle so different from your other hardware?
Right.
And the answer talks about,
And this is Mr. Furukawa.
Yeah, right. Mr. Furukawa. I saw Mr. Miyamoto was not answering these questions. Sometimes he's up there helping him.
Yeah.
The other person who was with Mr. Furukawa, I actually didn't recognize his name.
Either. Yeah.
I wasn't sure who that was.
Yuga?
But he was a executive officer, of course.
Oh, wow.
We recognize one of our tasks is ensuring the transition to future generations of hardware is as smooth as possible, is the key line there. It was getting quoted as like, we're basically saying like, we're really worried about this.
Yeah, I don't get that sense though.
So I think this is a very reasonable thing to say, and it's obviously true.
Yeah.
So.
And I think this is a lot of the questions that people have right now is like, is Nintendo going to do its Nintendo thing and be like really innovative and just come up with something completely different from Nintendo Switch that is going to like surprise and shock people? Or is it going to be like the Apple model where they iterate on Switch and make that even better?
Yeah.
My sense from this answer is that it seems like they're going to be iterating on Switch.
And I think they should.
And I think we all, you and I both think they should as well. But if you are in the camp of wanting to stick with what's good about Switch and making that even better, then maybe this is an answer that should give you some comfort,
There's also a bit here at the end of this from, again, Mr. Furukawa saying, we aim to maintain relationships across hardware generations through services that utilize Nintendo accounts, which I kind of wanted a little bit more detail.
Yeah, because right now the accounts are like, meh.
So it's like, what? Like, are you talking about like carrying game purchases over to a new
or like
hardware?
sharing games?
Or what does that mean?
Or
I mean, for years, like we would get, it's like the most important thing we have going is Nintendo account, and I would always be like,
why?
Like, can you tell me why? Like, it's a pretty basic account system, and I have to say I still don't completely understand.
I don't either.
Maybe they've got some big thing they're planning for the next generational shift.
It always seems like Nintendo accounts is like sort of like not the most modern account system either. Right.
Well, it's not the NNID. Remember that guy?
Oh my gosh, that was bad. that was so bad.
That didn't last long.
Yeah, but it just seems clunky. Like all of it seems very like dated.
Yeah.
It's not very modern. Anyways.
All right. So always a ton to look at there. And again, if you want to go on that Nintendo investor relations site, you can just look at it yourself to your heart's content.
It's some good stuff. And there's always like a message from Mr. Furukawa as well to like
in a very nice hotel ballroom, I'm sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
This next one was really interesting. EA's FIFA series loses its name after 30 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not the biggest sports gamers. I did play a ton of FIFA in college. That was like one of the big dorm room games.
That's like the big dorm room, like multiplayer game.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was surprised this was going for 30 years too. I thought maybe 20 years. But so they're parting ways, EA and FIFA, and EA is going to have, they're just going to rebrand their game EA Sports FC, and it sounds like FIFA is going to try and find a new partner who wants to pay this insane price that they're
for the
asking.
License. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see who bites on that.
Yeah, they said they were asking $1 billion was the alleged request.
Wow.
Which is a lot. And it's
for FIFA?
I read a lot of stories on this.
Dang, that's insane.
And I generally don't have a lot of sympathy for EA, but this feels like a lose-lose both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
The FIFA, I think getting the FIFA license gives you, you get everything, all these leagues, all the players.
I was going to say the players are really important.
We worked briefly on a FIFA game, the first FIFA game for Switch. We were helping, give support
the third-party
to
team,
EA. And it was impossible to do anything.
It was.
Because it was like, oh, well, you can't get that approved in time.
That right,
or that's going to take 6 months. And the game comes out in 3 months, so don't ask. It's like, can we get a screenshot? That takes 9 months.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, this is
impossible.
impossible.
What kind of marketing could you do at all?
And I actually, so at Konami, we had the other soccer game, Pro Evolution Soccer.
Okay.
Which did not have the overarching FIFA license. So you had to do piecemeal contracts with every one of these leagues.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a nightmare.
Impossible.
It was a nightmare. And FIFA, EA is saying like, well, we're going to retain a lot of these relationships. So they're basically saying like, don't worry, we're still going to have a lot. But it's like, are you going to have as many? Like, are you going to have just some fake teams out there? I'll be really curious to see what they actually have.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you're FIFA, like, who are you expecting to pay $1 billion? Like, who has $1 billion to pay for this license?
Yeah, that's like an exorbitant price tag.
I'm thinking like maybe some random like mobile game company could swoop it up. The one that would make sense, I don't know if they're going to want to do it, is 2K, because they do have other sports games.
They have other sports games.
They do have a big sports brand.
But they don't have $1 billion.
It's a lot of money.
2K does not have $1 billion.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't know. So I just don't know what happens here. It's a bummer.
It's kind of a bummer.
I would have never thought that EA would keep calling their football games John Madden Football and not call their soccer games
yeah.
FIFA.
Yeah.
Do people even know who John Madden is these days?
Definitely.
Really?
I think so.
The youth? I don't think they do.
Oh, okay, maybe not the youth.
No.
Maybe not the youth. Oh, look up John Madden.
John
Hopefully
Madden.
you know, yeah.
Dearly departed. John Madden, yeah.
That's so crazy.
All right, last story here. This was a biggie. Starfield was delayed out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Boom.
Tweet from Phil that you have.
So I've got both of them here because this is I thought he added an interesting comment here.
Yeah.
So the first tweet is from Bethesda's account. We've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield. I had to look back up what Redfall was.
Yeah, seriously. I only remember Starfield. I was like, huh?
To the first half of 2023. That's the same timing that Breath of the Wild 2 has.
That's right.
The teams have incredible ambitions. Yes. We want to make sure you get the best, most polished versions.
Sure.
Yes. We want to thank everybody for their excitement. Yes.
Yes,
we can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay soon. Does that mean it's going to be at their E3? I don't know. Well, Bethesda does have a reputation for being a little janky. I didn't play the last Fallout game, but I know a lot of people were not happy with the state that launched in. So
maybe they need the time.
If you need the time, take the time.
Yeah, no one wants to play a broken game. Don't be Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's completely fine.
Just totally, have this horrible thing come out and your audience just hates you.
I was looking forward to Starfield. I'm not mad about this at all.
Yeah.
So let's look at the retweet, the quote tweet, the QT, excuse me, from Phil. These decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear the feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet those expectations. So they do have a problem with
over-promising stuff.
Yet again, they have no big holiday game.
Yeah.
And this seems to have happened to them a lot.
Multiple times, yeah. Because this was supposed to be a November holiday game.
So this point about consistency is something for them to really work on.
Yeah.
Of how do you better forecast when these games are actually coming out? How do you build a year-long schedule for these games that is substantial?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I haven't turned on my Xbox in a long time. It's been a little while.
Last game I played on there was Tunic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, Halo came out at the right time in the holidays, but I mean, a lot of people...
And we did buy our Xboxes for Halo.
But a lot of people who know Halo better than we do and have stuck with that game say, that game maybe could have used another 3 months.
Yeah,
So that's... and they're still, the co-op's still not there. They're still adding, stuff you would have expected.
That would be at launch.
Yeah.
That's where Nintendo does do a good job.
Oh, they got this year locked down. It's like, well, we lost Breath of the Wild, but big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have a bigger picture thing here.
Okay.
So Nintendo's big game, Breath of the Wild, delayed. Xbox's big game, Starfield, delayed. What was the big PS5 game for the holiday going to be? God of War.
Is it going to get
delayed? It's been a while since we heard from God of War.
Where's Corey at?
So I've been really I have to imagine, they're going to have their kind of summer showcase.
Yeah, of course.
But I think right now they are probably down to the wire on this schedule.
They probably have to make it work.
But they may not know yet if they can meet the date. So I'm wondering, is the Sony event going to be later than these other ones? Because
they have to hold out until they know to do the event.
We cannot embarrass ourselves by doing an event in June saying, yep, see you in November, and then 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later delayed.
Because
this is embarrassing for I mean, the good thing they put this out before their June event.
Right. Very strategic.
So that's strategic.
Yes.
That's what you would do.
Don't disappoint people. But I am really looking at God of War now of what is going to happen to this.
The bead of sweat is definitely dripping down the face.
That team is very transparent of they are always on a razor's edge meeting these deadlines.
Yeah, well, that game is so massive too. And this one is there's so much expectation built into this one because of the where the last one left off. Like there is just so much expectation.
And they're in a similar position of Xbox where if they delay it, they really don't have a game for the holidays.
Yeah.
So I feel for that team.
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. But again, at the same time, I was thinking through this. I was like, if the Sony event is not until August,
that's why.
That's probably the latest you could push it. Like that's probably what is happening.
August is so late.
It's super late, and that would have a lot of implications also for like
their other stuff,
third-party games that you wanted to show. You're really jerking a lot of people around.
September, you need to have that. They say the back half. Then you need to have that kind of locked in.
Yeah, you can't go any later than that.
Can't go any later. Yeah,
but that was. Wouldn't it be so funny if all 3 games launched on the same day? Like March 31st, 2020, 2023.
The end of the fiscal, we gotta get it in.
We gotta cash in.
Oh my
Zelda,
gosh.
Starfield, and God of War all on the same day. That never happened.
Or would it? Or they could launch within like days or weeks. You know, that could happen.
Which is going to be the Elden Ring and which is going to be the Horizon?
That's right. That's where you have the ugly stepchild syndrome.
Oh my goodness. So that was very interesting. Do you think we see Starfield at the quote E3 event for Xbox?
I think we do.
I think we still see it.
I think we see it because they want to keep it top of mind for people. And now that you've already communicated the delay, people can watch that footage and not be like angry.
Yeah. So this first deep dive into gameplay, that's
what that is.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I do like how Phil came out with this though. It's like a human way of kind of taking some responsibility.
He's the best. I really appreciate him.
I like that he does stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's like he takes responsibility for like the bad stuff, you know, and like as he should. And I think that's very admirable.
And he is willing to put himself out there with the fans and
he's super like authentic with them.
Stay connected to the fans.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
He knows what's going on and where people can be frustrated.
Yeah, so he
props to him.
He's definitely doing the right thing here. So
there was one more story that broke so late I didn't even have time to add it here. But
finally you got your wish.
Sony released a bit more about these new PS Plus tiers.
There's like 3 different tiers. You do get your retro games. They're not that great.
I don't know. I wasn't.
The AAA titles are there though for this platinum tier.
I think I'm gonna stay with the basic tier. Honestly,
are you really?
I wasn't wowed. I mean,
still
so what I want is, I can play. I still have a PS4 that works.
Okay.
And it's like what I want is the older stuff that is harder to play or harder to find. Now that's really what I want, and that was unfortunately
still not there.
Pretty lacking.
Yeah, it's like a very kind of a limited list.
Yeah.
They say there's more to come.
And it's a pretty steep price difference. From one to the other, so
it is.
I think I'm going to be good.
So you rather just pick and choose the really big games that you want to play.
I've been thinking, like, you know what? I still have a launch PS3 that can play PS1 and PS2 games. Like, maybe I just hook that up if I want to play these games again.
I don't have any of these systems. This is where like my Kamaring just cost me more money.
You will gleefully tell me I don't have this thing we need to do this episode.
I don't have it.
Better figure it out, Buck.
I don't have it. I'm like
I threw it away.
I just don't want to have all this clutter in my house. So I'm like, I'll pay the premium price, you know.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
And especially with this digital only like PS5 that I have, like might as well. We'll see. We'll see. But I was like
I don't know.
I was not put off by this.
I just wish this service felt like more than a cash grab, more than just like we need to make a quick buck. What can we get out there that some people will jump on?
Yeah. I mean, there is stuff that is there though.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I mean, it's not like you're getting nothing.
You're not getting nothing.
Right.
Just could be so much more.
All
right. On to our questions.
Yes,
from our wonderful.
Yes, our Patreon family.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
I gotta say, these questions are so good.
You said that you were like the best week of questions yet.
I go through these to put this, planning sheet together, and it's like, how do I choose? What goes in this? What goes in the bonus? Like, what do I save for another week?
Yeah, we got some new family members that just added, and a lot of them are jumping right into the questions, which I just love so much. So if you're new, don't be shy.
Yes.
Submit your questions. We'd love to answer them on the show.
So here's one again from a new person, Angelo Vega. Do you know anything about the Switch tax, where for some publishers the price of physical copies of Nintendo Switch games, well, this is a little incomplete, but basically games cost more on the Switch than they do on other platforms.
That's right.
Well, this is the price you pay for not using, optical, like a disc, like a Blu-ray.
Right.
With those little game cards.
Little card.
It tastes gross.
Don't eat it.
Don't put it in your mouth. Those cost more to make.
Yeah.
And the bigger the game is, the more memory you need, the more it costs.
The more it costs, exactly.
So that kind of is what it is.
Like a manufacturing thing versus it being like a
Yeah. So I mean,
like a marketing or a resale thing.
I'm not mad at the companies that have to do this. I'm also not mad. Sometimes there'll be like a big thing on the package, like requires a download, where you're getting like some of the game.
It's like, just tell me what I need to do to play this game.
The ones I don't like though, where there's nothing. It's just like, hey, here's a download code.
Oh, you have like a box with like nothing?
If I'm buying physical, I want something
that seems
in the box.
like very environmentally unfriendly to do that.
That's just silly.
I don't like that either.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. At least it's easier to carry around. That little tiny thing that you can just shove in your...
Put it in my cheek pouch like a
squirrel. Hamster?
Yeah.
Don't eat it, guys. Seriously. I love this name, and the portrait is very interesting as well. Disco Stew. When Nintendo's Twitter retweets another brand, how many layers of approvals does that have to go through before someone clicks retweet? Many layers.
First of all, Disco Stew does not advertise. That's what everybody needs to know. Well, so this depends what
partner you're working with.
What you want to retweet.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of partners where it's just kind of like expected that you're going to retweet and support them.
Amplify, as they say in the social media world.
There is the classic, the RTO, the real-time opportunity.
Yeah.
Where you might want to jump in
into
on a trend,
conversation
on a trend,
or a trend.
Join the conversation.
Hashtag join the conversation.
And, depending on what that is, it may not be a big deal. You may just be, a lot of times I would just be like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah. The other thing that's more fun, though, is when you have like a planned, like,
brand
back
conversation.
And forth brand conversation. Yeah. So like when a game launches, like for example, Square Enix was one that we did this a lot with, where you could get them to reply, you could reply back, or sometimes even like Xbox. We did it with like, you know, quote competitors or whatever. Yeah. And that was always fun.
That's like when I have a brand conversation with my own Twitter account and the Kit and Krysta account. It's like it's where I post the picture of the guy holding two phones, talking to himself.
You're just like, yeah, you just talk to yourself. Yeah. Exactly.
In this one, I'm going to be sassy.
What is your own brand strategy? Your brand social strategy.
Yeah. But there's also stuff that you should not retweet and that we could not retweet.
That's right.
And no matter how many layers of approval, the answer would always be no.
That's right. That's right. Got to protect the brand, you see.
Drew Grant. Hi again.
Hi.
Here is a question for a Q&A. In your opinion, I like this question. Who is the least deserving addition to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? And who is your most desired future fighter? Mine would be Dixie Kong for most desired and anything Minecraft as least deserving.
Ooh, I like how you gave your own
I like how he just assumes there will be future fighters.
I won't be there. Not my problem, as Reggie would say. I can't believe that's so fun. I love it.
This is a very personal decision. What do you say?
My least deserving is Terry Bogard. I think that is just such a niche, unknown character. And if you had the opportunity to like have something that is more broad-reaching, that's what I would do. But it's one of those like Mr. Sakurai wanted to do it, so he did it kind of.
I thought about that too. That was definitely one where I first heard about it. I was like, eh. But then he really did seem extremely passionate about it. He wanted it,
so give it to him.
So that's why I was like, oh, I'll let this one slide. Yeah, because he seems excited.
He definitely seems excited. And so yeah, you kind of like this man just dedicated his entire life to this game, just let him have it. But like from like a fan perspective, it's kind of like meh, like another one of these that's kind of like, you know, a little dull.
Yeah.
Most desired.
I have two. I actually have three. In case you steal one of mine.
You have three.
I have three.
Most desired. I have not thought about most desired characters.
Excellent prep for this episode on your part.
Okay, why don't you go with your least deserving first?
Oh, so I definitely thought of Terry Bogard too. Another one that I was like, and this is extremely controversial. I don't love Sora as a choice.
Oh, no.
I know that this was like the cherry on top for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I want these games to have some deep connection to Nintendo hardware, if possible.
Yeah.
And I know there's like, there were some that were on like there were some handheld games.
Kingdom Hearts games, yeah.
But, and I know they brought the other ones over, like with the cloud versions.
Mm-hmm. But
I really associate Sora as like a PlayStation character.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and that was just, it just felt like it was getting a bit too broad as far as who are we bringing in?
Oh, I think people love that.
I know. This is, again, very personal opinion.
Yikes.
Very personal, but I was like, I mean, I'm happy for the people who were like this, but it did nothing for me.
Yeah. Okay. Most desired.
You still don't have one, do you?
I have one.
All right.
Well, you can go.
Captain Toad would be awesome.
Can throw like a diamond at you.
It's like I actually like Piranha Plant. I thought was really cool. It's like just kind of a generic like Mario character. You could even just have a generic Toad in there. But Captain Toad, I think you could actually build out a pretty cool moveset for.
Okay. That's a good one.
Can I keep going? Or
I like Impa.
Oh yeah,
that would be good. Maybe she could be old
which
young Impa.
Okay.
Like a granny Impa.
That could be a move where she can like age swap.
She can age swap and then wail on you with her like
that's cool.
Stick or something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, right?
The others, going back to our conversation about the extended Kong family. Not again, he wants Dixie Kong.
You don't like Dixie Kong.
No, I didn't say that. I don't like Candy Kong.
Oh, Candy Kong.
Candy Kong better not come anywhere near unless it's a
Cranky Kong?
Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong would be good.
Cranky Kong was very fun to play as in Tropical Freeze.
I think that would be great. And he already has him built in. He got that stick,
you got
the
that
walking stick.
You can do the cool like pogo move.
Like the pogo move would be really fun. You could like jump on someone's head with the pogo move or something.
So again, the Kong family feels a little underrepresented in Smash Brothers.
That's true. Only Donkey Kong.
The third one,
Kong,
I got, where's Locky 2? We need Locky 2.
I was just thinking that you were going to say
There's so much cool stuff you could do with like get a little cloud fly around, you could get the little fishing hook.
Yeah, you could throw the spinies.
Yes. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do with Locky 2.
Maybe Koopalings. You can just do one Koopaling as all, like you know how you can swap Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like you can be like Bulbasaur, Charizard, or Squirtle if you're Pokemon trainer. Maybe you can do you can swap between all the Koopalings.
They have that.
They do?
That's in the game.
It is?
Whoa! This is why you prep for the show, people.
They have the Koopalings in the game?
Yes, it's under Bowser Jr.
No, they don't.
It is! Okay, people need to know this about you. You never get more dug in on an argument when you are absolutely wrong. You should know this about yourself by now. You fight the hardest for something where you are so
I
wrong.
don't remember this at all. I need to go back and look at this.
This is a bad look for you right now.
What?
We're not going to cut this out.
I'm not expected to know every single Smash character that ever existed.
You were the marketing lead for this game.
Well, let's never bring that up again.
Woo! Okay.
It was a traumatizing experience.
Okay.
Traumatizing.
Where were we now?
Bobby Asian XD.
All right, please.
Watching the Indie World Direct reaction reminded me, do you think Xbox needs its own showcase similar to Nintendo Direct and State of Play? Do you think it would benefit them in any way, given their current model of essentially only promoting Game Pass? Well, as we were saying.
Well, you know what's here to save the day is the Xbox refrigerator part 2. That'll be the big... Got all this marketing money.
Mail that fridge out to people.
Here comes a $100 million marketing campaign for the Xbox fridge. I do think they could use something along these lines.
Yeah.
For the indies, they do have their ID at Xbox, which I don't feel like a lot of people know about. And they will do events like Indie Worlds, but they don't seem to get a lot of people talking.
And they don't promote it very much either.
Yeah.
It's kind of under the radar.
It is interesting that they don't have something like that yet.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but I think the trend, or maybe not even a trend, but the expectation now is for these big publishers to have some sort of moment throughout the year where you're kind of bundling together all of your news.
Right.
So why not is the question, I guess. Is it really that hard to make one? I don't think so. Do you not really have that many games to talk about? Maybe.
Yeah. It's a very good question on something that
seems obvious.
Yeah. Gar has a visual question. Which outfit of Link's do you think is superior between his modern blue tunic and the classic green tunic of past Zelda games? We've got this great art of young green Link passing the sword.
That's cute. I like that one. I like the modern blue tunic.
Really?
I do. I feel like Link in his youth looks really like Link in the green tunic just doesn't look as like not intimidating, but like it doesn't look as capable.
What about like Skyward Sword Link or Twilight Princess, like where he's got like chainmail underneath?
That's a little bit better. Yeah,
There's a lot of different versions of this.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. But yeah. I do like when it feels like Link is very capable of doing a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And I think that's where I. That's
why do you play him shirtless?
Well, because he's hot.
Capable. I do like the blue tunic, but I have to
go with
respect
the
classic green.
All right.
I do think some of those later ones, like the Skyward Sword one, I think in particular looks cool. I like the chainmail as an addition.
Yeah.
Some of the other, you see some of the concept art of the other one. It's like he's not wearing pants. It's just like bare
tights.
Legs.
Oh,
it's like,
no, is it beige pants?
You'd be like self-conscious running around like pantsless, basically.
That seems dangerous.
Don't do that.
You're gonna be like in some situations.
Put on some pants.
You might be in some situations where things could be harmed.
In one version, got no shirt. One version, got no pants. Put on some clothes, Link.
You're in a very dangerous situation.
Mike J. Chin, I learned the term shadow drop from your Indie World Reacts video. It's exciting when a game is released at the same time it's announced. I'm wondering, what are the pros and cons of a shadow drop release? Is it harder or easier for a marketing team compared to a traditional announcement? I don't love the term shadow drop, but that just was what we called it.
That's what it is, yeah. Well, it's very descriptive of what's happening. Well, I think the good thing about how Nintendo does these shadow drops is that the marketing vehicle is the Direct that it's in. The negative part of it is that you don't really get that build up, or you have a lot of time to get people to understand the game or learn about it and get excited about it, because you're basically announcing it and dropping it and hoping they pick it up that day.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. You only get one shot to convey what you need to convey. So like a really big game that you might need to re-hit over a series of months, probably not the best.
Not the best, yeah. Especially like a game that has like lots of layers to it. Yeah. Like you probably wouldn't want to do that.
But it is exciting to be like, oh, I'm excited about this and I can buy it now. I'm going to go do that.
Yeah, that like it's like a human brain thing.
Like how many people like regret buying something because they just got swept away?
I thought that I was going to get a regret Soundfall. Because level 1 was not great. And then I was like, okay, actually this game's fine. This game's good. Yeah. But that was a shadow drop.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's done some deeper analysis of like the sales difference between doing it one way or the other.
I'm sure.
This is from Paul Gale. Has there been anything from a video game that has inspired you to learn that skill or practice that trait in the real world? For instance, Street Fighter motivated me in my martial arts career, and Link inspired my archery skills.
I love this.
How about you two?
Paul Gale is so awesome.
First of all, Paul Gale, which Street Fighter character are you imitating? Are you doing spinning pile drivers in your backyard?
Are you? In that Mario pool?
Yeah.
I want to know so many things. I need to know so many more things about this. Please tell us. So this is actually a great question, because I have on my bucket list to learn everything, to be able to do everything that Link can do in real life.
I didn't know this about you.
Yes, you did. I've told you this multiple times.
Everything?
Yeah. So I am doing really good on this list. Archery, check. Done that. I actually want to take more archery classes, but I have done a lot of archery already. Sword fighting, done that.
Not in Switch Sports, you didn't.
That's Chambara.
Into the drink, you went.
Chambara is not sword fighting. Okay. But I've taken a lot of fencing classes. And I've done that.
Yeah.
Horseback riding, check. I've owned a horse and ridden a horse for many years.
Okay.
Sailing, obviously, check.
What's left?
I need to paraglide.
Bombs? Explosives?
Oh, explosive. That could be fun. I also have done rock climbing. So,
that's true.
Yeah, so I'm doing really good on my Link list of skill sets.
Good.
Grappling hook. Didn't do that yet. You learn that.
Do people use grappling hooks in real life?
I don't know, but it's got to be.
Or is that just one of those things that is in like
try it.
Like movies and games where it's like, yeah, this is awesome, but it's like
I just want to try it.
Totally doesn't work.
But there's got to be a place for me to try it, right?
Yeah.
So the missing things are the paragliding and the grappling hook
And the bombs.
Don't
forget the bombs.
I gotta throw bombs.
I don't know if I have anything like that, but we have talked about how some of the Assassin's Creed games inspired me to go on vacation.
Oh yeah, that's true.
To these places.
Yeah.
Italy. I went. Places. Boom. Book that flight. Book that flight to Italy.
Every building, I'm like, I can climb that. I can climb that. I can climb that.
Right. Absolutely. No, that's fun when you get like a real jolt of inspiration.
I love that.
Yeah. Prince Charmless. Why do you think Nintendo never drops the prices of their first-party games? Is that their business practice? Do you think they are greedy?
I don't think they're greedy. I do think that Nintendo has a very, as they should, sort of high view of their products. So this is kind of related to your question, but like, for example, they would never allow us to call, like, you know how we had like influencers that worked with Nintendo? They would have to use hashtags like free game if they got like product from Nintendo. They were very resistant to even that term.
Yeah.
Because there was the stigma that like our games are so good and so high quality and the development team worked so hard on this, we would never give this away for free.
Or for us to do like any sort of a giveaway. We just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think this relates back to why I don't drop their prices.
Reggie does touch upon this in his book when they're talking about should we pack in Wii Sports, and it sounded like Mr. Miyamoto got very stern of like, you don't understand the value that we are putting into these products,
games.
And to just give it away is like unthinkable.
Is unthinkable.
And we got variations on that all the time.
Right.
And I think, I mean, it obviously works well if you're selling 10 million copies of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 6
like
years later.
6 years in,
at full price, you don't need to drop that price.
Right.
So I don't think they're greedy. I think they understand. They do understand.
They understand the value
we don't have to.
Their products. Yeah.
People want this.
Yeah.
And there are companies that are so quick to drop the price. Ubisoft, like, it's like, they have a game that'll come out in, end of October. It's like, I know I'm getting this half price on Black Friday. I just know it.
So you don't even need to bother buying it day one.
Yeah, and I think
you've trained the consumer to basically wait to buy your game at a cheaper price.
I think it's a weird message to send to people about your big new game.
Yeah. All right, from Rain Tech, what was the approval process like to get actual guests, YouTubers, etc., featured on Nintendo Minute? Was it quite the hassle, or was it actually pretty easy or straightforward? You know what? This was actually very easy.
This is perfect for you.
Because basically, I would just ask people that I was friends with to be on the show. So that was it. Yeah.
We also had, kind of a group of people that were part of our program.
Right.
That we had a lot of freedom to just do stuff with.
Yeah. That was really fun. Is that, when I took over the creator program at Nintendo, we kind of built this group of really core creators that we would always work with. I was personally friends with a lot of them. We did a lot of stuff with them. They did a lot of stuff for us. So it was like a very good two-way relationship. And of course they were always following the rules that we set out for them. Very, very closely following the rules. And so that means we were able to work with them pretty regularly, which was great.
Riven, other than physically going to Japan, is there anywhere to get official Nintendo Hanafuda decks? I've Googled around a little, and the Nintendo UK store has them, but they don't ship internationally. Other than that, it's just resellers on eBay or Amazon, and that feels shady to me.
Is there not any on store.nintendo.com?
I think that's a great place to look. The Nintendo New York store always has that.
Yeah.
I think that site would be a great place to look.
I think you should look there. I think they might have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
you can play Clubhouse
I was going to say, you can also play Clubhouse games. That's how we learned.
I learned from
we had always had the big idea of we're going to do a video where somebody shows us how to play Hanafuda, the actual card game.
Yeah, the actual card game.
And then the pandemic hit. But this game came out, and it was like, okay, finally, we're going to do this.
Maybe we should do a video where we play actual Hanafuda.
We're going to, do I still remember the rules of that? You got to identify the little
flowers,
details.
Yeah.
I'm still salty about this, though, and I think you are, too. We were ready to do it. We were going to do
Treehouse.
We were going to do...
I'll call you out, Treehouse.
We were going to do the Hanafuda video in Clubhouse games.
Yeah.
And we got a phone call. It was like, you can't do it. because we're going to do our own video for this.
Yeah.
And we need to prioritize that. So we were like,
okay, fine.
Okay,
We'll
fine.
give it to you, Treehouse.
So
we'll do something else.
So we did a different video for Clubhouse Games on something else. And
the Treehouse video never came out.
That other video never happened. So
maybe they'll come out with it now.
Thanks
like
a lot.
3 years later, 2 years later. Maybe they will.
We're very reliable, you see.
Yeah, we could have popped that video out
8 years
4
every
days.
week.
No time at all. I could have done a Hanafuda video. But no. You wouldn't let me.
And we had the passion for it.
I know.
Look at this passion right now for Hanafuda.
Well, guess what? Now you're getting it on this channel. Missed out.
I'm getting mad.
All right, moving on. Robert Safazin. Did knowing about announcements and video game content in advance ever spoil your experience? How do you think going forward in the dark is going to affect your personal reactions to new reveals? Yes, it spoiled my experience a lot. I actually hated it. Sometimes when I was not working on a game, I would personally request people not to tell me things. My favorite example was with our good friend, who is no longer with Nintendo, Eric Peterson, who's been on many episodes of Nintendo Minute. We love Eric. Maybe he'll come on this show one of these days. Eric, when I first met him, we were working on Skyward Sword together. And he was a writer on that team, so he was doing a lot of the story stuff. And I was like, please don't tell me the story for this. I really would appreciate it if you could just tell me the basics of what I need to do this job and market this game, but like, can you not? And he was like, I can't. Here's the rollout. Read it, please. And it has like every spoiler. I'm not mad at you, Eric, but I'm just saying like, it kind of sucked. Like I was never able to experience it. And sometimes like, there was also like those times where you didn't even want to play it. And you're like, well, I don't want to play this game anymore.
I remember there was a lot of energy around Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, yes.
Where it was Chico was where our the wonderful Chico was like, you need to listen to this. And everybody's like, I don't want to.
I don't want to. Please don't make me.
I normally don't care about spoilers. Like, the day a big like movie comes out, I'm like, show me the spoilers. Like, give me this plot synopsis, whether I'm going to watch it or not.
Care.
I don't usually care.
I care.
But I mean, we're talking about reactions. Like, I'm really excited to see and all this stuff coming up next month. Like, what's that going to be like? I want to know.
Yeah, I finally can just have this for myself again.
Right.
It's so nice. I love it. It's great. Yeah. Yes?
Yes.
Would you like
Hello?
to go next?
All right. This is from Switching It Up. Hi, my name is Switching It Up, and I have a gaming problem. How do you guys tackle your backlog? I go through phases where I just don't stress about it, but then go on a gaming shopping spree and realize how many games I own. Help me!
I like this cry for help. Whoa, we got you. So does the rest of the Kit and Krysta community, because I think this is where someone was like, go to that website. Howlongtobeat.com. Is that what the website is?
I've solved my backlog.
By doing what? By yeeting out of games when you don't.
I am ruthless with games. Like, if I am not enjoying this, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's whether it doesn't grab me in the beginning or whether it loses me halfway. It's like, I don't have time for this. I got these other games that I want to check out. I can't be wasting my time on something that's not delivering.
Whoa. Such high expectation. Me?
This applies to a lot of things.
I'm delivering right now. This quality content.
You didn't deliver on that Smash Brothers question, I gotta say.
Don't come at me for that Smash Brothers question. You guys know that I have some trauma that I need to work through. This might be
it's a blocked memory.
I need to go to a therapist for my Smash trauma.
Core memory unlocked?
Core trauma
Koopalings
unlocked.
and Smash?
Core trauma unlocked. We should not bring
Do you have an answer for this? More rambling?
Well, again,
well, you see, listen, now the first thing you need to know is, let's start from the beginning. There's a lot to unpack here.
Stop! You're making it hard for me to help switching it up _. I do think that website is helpful. The How Long to Beat website.
Yeah.
I think
is that a spoiler? How Long to Beat?
No.
Okay.
Because that's how I do it. I always kind of plot my gaming schedule. Like with Elden Ring is going to take a long time. I now need to see if I can play a shorter game afterwards, or is there maybe sometimes I also don't have a problem with don't talk yet. I also I also don't have a problem with multitasking games. I know you don't like that.
Yeah, you're good at those.
And I'm good at that. So like I could do like a big cinematic story game and then play like a smaller like indie game on the side.
Yeah.
So I would say that's another methodology.
Last thing I'll add is don't put yourself in a bad position. If it's like, oh, in a week, this game that I want to play is coming out. Don't start something big that you're not going to be able to finish in a week. Yeah. That's how you end up in a terrible position.
Then you're like,
what do I do?
Well, that's kind of what happened to us with Horizon and Elden Ring.
Well, that's what happened to everybody.
The world. It happened to the world. Yeah. So collectively, we all understand.
All right, last question. I love this question from Thomas with 3 S's. In the US, people say Mario, like car. But in the UK, people say Mario instead. Also, a lot of the East Coast, New York City.
Yes.
Mario. So I was wondering if you were given specific pronunciations for things like characters and game names while working at Nintendo.
I have one game.
Abso-flippin'-lutely.
Sharp FE. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE is my answer to your question. Yes, of course. Yeah. We were told to say Mario.
It's Mario, yeah.
Yeah. And there is, what is the most severe pronunciation thing is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon. And then all the different names, we would literally get a recording from the Pokemon team with all the names of all the, the Pokemon and also the starters and all that stuff, the partner Pokemon, and you would have to like practice it.
Even the word Pokemon had to be so rehearsed.
Pokemon.
There wasn't.
You're saying it wrong.
We talked about this in our bonus Q&A, Patreon exclusive if you'd like to check it out, about the terrible ice sculpture incident that I had with the Pokemon. And there was an era where they were so strict. They cared about nothing except like
getting the IP
perfectly. Perfect. And it was like, oh, you could do this long thing where you're talking about Pokemon. It's like, if you messed up one pronunciation, throw it out.
Over.
Throw it out. You can't use it. It's garbage.
Yeah. I always get really nervous.
And it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I always appreciate Reggie didn't always have the perfect pronunciation, and he didn't care.
He
what are you going to do? You going to tell me to do it again? I'm unavailable. I'm unavailable. I'm busy.
That's your problem.
Yeah. CEO problems. You got to go. Not my problem.
All right. These are some great questions as always. Thank you so much for submitting them. And again, if you're shy about submitting your question or if you're new, don't be shy.
Just DM us.
Please. Yeah, you can DM us too. You don't have to put it in the Discord if you don't want to have it out there for everybody. Or you can send it to us anonymously. We don't have to say your name. But anyways, keep sending us your great questions. We love to answer them on the show and in our bonus Q&A, which we do every week for our Patreon members. Okay, it is that time for the graduation ceremony.
Let's go.
You're going first
again. Ron Burgundy.
Aaron Hash.
Adam Edwards.
Ajan Malari.
Alexandra Pratt.
Ali.
Andre NYH.
Angela Bycroft.
Angelo Vega.
Bailey Mayer.
Ben Eichhorn.
Bettina Tane.
Blue Toad.
Brian Humphreys.
Chancellor Fairley.
Christopher Lay.
Captain Alex.
Daniel Cold.
Daniel Valencia.
Dachshund.
David Zeck.
Douglas Chomix.
Drew Grant.
Dino Punch.
Ed Sandwich.
Eigenverse.
Elite Peach.
S-Parts 50.
Fairbound.
Gar.
Garrett Hullfish.
Grayson Atkins.
Handheld Gamer.
Handsome Warrior.
Ian Shea.
Israel Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jackie Z.
Jason E.
JK99.
JBJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jeremy Amaker.
Jesse Hernandez.
Jim Wakeland.
Jobert.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Collette.
Jordan Hammerly.
Jordan Thomas.
Jordy Kirk.
Joshua Clements.
Juan.
Just Camtro.
Carter with a K.
Kawa 2796.
Kevin.
Kevin Delane.
K Madman TV.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyler Nelson.
Lego My Froggo.
Link.
Linked Triforce.
Link Master.
Luminous.
Luca Mania.
Lucas Pico.
Luis.
Luis Calcano.
Mark Schlasner.
Oh. Maru Mayhem.
Matt McCarthy.
Matthew Rawald.
Michael Cravens.
Michael J. File.
Michael Mazer.
Mike Chin.
Mikey.
Murph.
Mytran.
Nick Waterman.
Nod Narb.
Parker Anderson.
Patreon user.
Paul Gale Network.
Piano Psychopath.
Pirates TCG Grudges Forever.
Prince Charmless.
PS Wii.
Raver.
Rad State of Mind.
Rain Tech.
Raphael.
Ray. Oh, jeez. Ray Chiron?
Charon?
Chiron?
I think that's.
Ray, please correct us. I'm sorry.
R.J. Kern.
Rob Osborne.
Rocks.
Roy Etchke.
Ryan Hayes, 521.
Ryanetta.
Sam Neeland.
Cephazon. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, Cephazon. Yes.
Shinryu.
Slowbro.
Spicy Munchkin.
Starholt Productions.
Steel Citron.
Switching it up _
The Dads After Dark Show.
The Don Rob.
Thomas.
Thomas Alvarez.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Taylor Geis.
VGM Life.
Victor Yee.
Video Game Stupid.
Beautiful Dandy.
Virtual Bot.
What's Up Flapjack.
Wicked Davy.
Will Ernst.
And Zoodiverse.
Zoodiverse.
Whew.
Got some new ones.
The ranks are growing.
You got some new ones.
Of the 1UP Club.
I was like, who are these people?
He wasn't prepared for this.
I wasn't prepared.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's exciting to have new people, though. It's great. Thank you for joining us. That's a show.
That's it.
Some embarrassing moments, some L's that I have to take. It's okay.
It's your birthday, though. You get a pass.
I get a pass. Gonna eat some snacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the things. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social channels. We're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Give us a subscribe. Hit that thumbs up.
Yep.
Smash that like button. If you want a snack, buy your snack.
Yeah.
Kit Krysta is your $5 off discount code.
Use the link. Use the code.
Use the link in the description box. Use the code.
That's right.
Also in the description box. Eat some snacks. They're delicious. Join our Patreon, of course.
Please.
We'd love to have you. Add you to our wonderful Patreon family. You get so many cool benefits. We're about to start planning this next 1UP Club event.
That's right.
Got bonus Q&As, spicy Q&As, pre-shows, Discord.
Goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at that.
And send Krysta a happy birthday message.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So nice. Yes, I'll be at Disneyland. And you can send me a happy birthday message and I'll be running around like a child. So it'll be great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We will wrap it up for today and see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.